blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings, learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Good morning. Is this working? Right. Welcome everyone to our multi-platform service for the Unitarian Church of Staten Island. We are so grateful you have joined us. For those joining us in person, it is wonderful to have you with us. Please be sure to wear your masks throughout the service, except when presenting, and maintain social distancing. During the service, as long as you are wearing masks, you can sing along to the hymns and read along to our responsive readings. Those of you who are attending in person are invited to join us in the parish hall for hospitality after the service at 12:30. Weekly gatherings include our spiritual growth circle in the library at 12:30 p.m. and our women's group meets via Zoom on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. See Kathy Santo for more information as needed. For those joining us online, we send special greetings to you. We hope you can take a moment to introduce yourself via the chat box. And after the service, you are all invited to the virtual coffee hour, but you have to brew it yourself at home. For those joining us in person, we gently remind you to please silence your phones and other devices and prepare for this morning's service, which is a special one for me as the Memorial Garden Chair. This church has a beautiful building, a sanctuary, a library, a hall, but we also have a garden that was conceived of by many of our members, including Virginia Allen, who was an initial voice to say, we need a place to put cremains, ashes, to memorialize people in our community who pass on, who leave us sometimes distraught, but sometimes comforted through the form of a garden, which reflects us. So join us today, sing along with our songs, and ask us questions during coffee hour if you want to know more. Thank you.
This morning's opening reading will be a responsive reading. Please go to your gray hymnals. Number 468, please. We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted.
We need one another when we are in trouble and in prayer.
We need one another when we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our best selves again.
We need one another when we are humble conscious and greater purpose and cannot do it alone.
We need one another in the hour of success, when we look for someone to share our triumphs.
We need one another in our defeat, encouragement that we might endure and stand again.
We need one another when we come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey. All our lives we are in need, and others are in need of us.
I invite you to join me in lighting of our chalice. You can find the affirmation in the order of service. We light this chalice in the search for truth and the spirit of love. We unite in worship and fellowship. As an extension of our lighting the chalice, I want to take a moment of silence to light these candles for some of the names of those who have recently been affected by police brutality. We cannot cover all the names of those affected. We light a candle for the life of Hervé Otenio. We light a candle for the life of Tyree Nichols. We light a candle for the life of Aaron Martinko. May these lights be a symbol of our commitment to continue the work of racial justice and to proclaim that Black Lives Matter. Please turn to your gray hymnal and join in the hymn 123, Spirit of Life. Now I invite you to all to join and share your joys and sorrows. If you're visiting us for the first time, please introduce yourself. For those who are gathering in person, we invite you to raise your hand and then stand where you're seated. I will give you the microphone to share your joy or sorrow. We invite you to share what's in your heart. For those who are joining us online, we invite you to type in the chat box your joys and sorrows. Sally will read them aloud. We invite you to share also what is in your heart. Whoops. Anybody? Oh, Valerie.
Hi, I'm Kathy Santo. My joy is last Sunday, we went and celebrated the dedication of our youngest granddaughter at the Beacon Unitarian Church in Summit, New Jersey.
Anybody else? Oh.
This is kind of a, I think, universal joy for many people here, but I'm really happy Trump was indicted.
Yeah. Did you want to? No, okay.
Morning, everybody. I'm Ashley. I have not been here in a long time, years, I think. So good to see everybody again. I'm here with my mom, Terry. And I still get the newsletters, and we're here because we had a pretty significant death in the family. My grandfather, my mom's father, passed away on New Year's Eve. So yeah, since the topic was like memorialization and grief, we wanted to drop by and yeah, just, connect with others around that. And yeah, still kind of processing how to work out his memory. So I don't know if you want to say anything extra, but hi, everybody.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Robin Monda, Locke Monda, and
So most of you know that my husband passed away in November of last year, and I'm going to be having a celebration of his life on May 20th. And everybody here, everybody who's part of the congregation is invited to attend. There will be an outdoor, it won't be a service, it'll be, Reverend Daryl Berger will speak about Bob, about his life, and several people who know him well will speak about him. We'll have some poetry readings because Bob wrote poetry. And then afterwards, there will be a light luncheon repast in Fellowship Hall. So you're all welcome. If you want, save that date, May 20th. It's a Saturday at 11 a.m.
Hi, my name is David. First, my condolences, Robin. I did not know about that, so that was a surprise. It comes as a surprise to me, the loss of your husband. Initially, I raised my hand because I wanted to gloat a little bit about Trump being indicted, but as we've seen in the past, the indictment means little. What we need to see him in is some silver bracelets on his wrist and an orange suit to go along with his complexion. So that's, I'll gloat after I see that happen.
It's me again. Thank you, Robin, for the announcement about the memorial service, because it reminded me that we have another memorial service coming up this Saturday, April 8th, for Jill Avedon. Only some of the older members of our church may remember Jill, who was active in the church, I believe, in, I don't know, the 1990s. She passed away recently. So the memorial service is this Saturday, April 8th, from 12 to 1 here at our church.
Hi, good morning. I'm Chris. So this is a joy from the Worship Guild that we have all our Sundays taken until the end of the church year. And while Daryl Berger is going to be with us on April 30th, talking about transcendentalism and a lot of other interesting things in the connection to the creation of this particular congregation, he's going to come back and be our final speaker. So we started the year with Daryl, and we're going to end the year with Daryl, which I think is a high point for everybody.
Anybody, Sally? No?
Okay. So this part of the service is special to the Memorial Garden service, but we have done it at other times, and it's basically just to interact with you all, whether you're visiting for the first time or you're a longtime member. If you've brought an object or an image of someone who has recently or in the past died at all, please, you can bring it forward one at a time, and we'll say the name of your person. That's simple, and then take a seat before we sing our offertory hymn. And I'd like to start with a picture of Viola Calabrese Proler, who is 90 years old. She was a member of our church, but moved to her family members, and she was a lovely, gentle woman. Viola was the right word for her because it's a spring flower, and I wanted to include her today. And then my father, Robert Matyas, who passed away 2 years ago and in the spring. So would someone else like to, especially this person, if you'd like to come and say their name? You can say it, or you can come. I'm sorry for your loss. And thank you for including her here. Another? No, just, yes, just come up. we're not a big group. We can do this.
It's a picture of my mother. She died about a year ago.
And I brought a picture of my dad from his first Holy Communion in 1928.
Thank you.
This is a picture of my mother, Mattie, and my father, Monroe. They passed away a long time ago, but they're holding our infant son at the time.
I brought an envelope with my name on it, written by my father. It's when I began to notice his handwriting was shaky. It was my Christmas card, and he left us on December 31st. Thank you.
Objects sometimes do amazing things. That recognition of his handwriting is very beautiful.
Hi. As you all know, my brother passed away 2 weeks ago, and I'm just not ready to objectify him with a picture yet, but I want us to remember him today.
Thank you. Recent losses take a while to process, and thank you for sharing that.
So this would have been my brother's 51st wedding anniversary. He's passed now quarter of a century, but you still remember things. And the thing I remember about him is he sailed a lot. So this is a clamp that I stole from his house after he passed, that I've been carrying around for 24 years, that I'll be looking for when I come back to the table.
It's a metaphor.
Hello, everyone. I knew it was a memorial service, so that was one reason why I wanted to come. But my brother passed away last July, and we had the service here, and it was beautiful. But I found in my wallet a card, 2022, with the date circled, when he passed away on July 11th. So not a picture, because I didn't think of that. But yeah, Brian McCarthy was a sweet man.
Thank you for returning today. It's a good day to return. Anybody else? Yes.
I'd like us to remember Stan and Kirk. Can you hold up the pillow next to you? Stan's pillow. Stan always sat in that spot where Kirk is, and that's his spot. So that pillow makes sure he's still with us.
And thank you for stitching it, Viv. I always walk by it, and it's just really, it's a joy to have not have people slip through our fingers sometimes. Give them place in our lives. All right. With that being said, come on, that's what this is for.
My friend Jessica, she died a year ago in July, and she had cancer. She was only 42 years old, and it's very sad because she left 2 little girls without a mother, and also the husband had died 3 years earlier of cancer. So 2 little girls now don't have their parents, and it's just really sad. And luckily they have a grandmother and an aunt taking care of them, but I just can't get over what happened with her. She was a very healthy person for years and years and years, and all of a sudden she got cancer. So my heart breaks every time I think about her.
Yeah, and how we extend our family broader than we initially expected, and how we need each other, which is what Thomas's reading was about, that it requires us to connect to each other, to help each other through this. And they do have parents. They did have parents, and they do have parents. So it's not that they don't. All right. I think we'll go on to our sermon. Two members of our garden committee are here. Oh, I'm sorry, offertory song, I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna sing along. I'm gonna turn it off.
We'll now pause for meditation and offer to focus our meditation and then ring the bell. At that point, I invite you to begin the meditation with 3 deep breaths. After a few minutes, I'll ring the bell again to mark the end of our time. Today's quote is from Marcus Aurelius. Meditate upon what you ought to be in body and soul. When death overtakes you, meditate on the brevity of life and the measureless gulf of eternity behind it, and before and upon the frailty of everything material. Offertory hymn is number 108. It's in the gray hymnal. Oh, boy.
Okay, for the short people. How do people who passed away stay with us as we move forward with our lives? Hi, everybody. My name is Vivian Vassar. You know me as a longtime member of the church. I manage the church's Instagram and Facebook pages, and I'm a member of the church's Memorial Garden Committee. I became a member of the committee because my dad is buried in the garden. My father, Edward Albert Vassar, sorry, it's hard sometimes when you say the name of someone who's passed away and you're thinking of them, isn't it? So my father, whose name is Edward Albert Vassar, died in 1982 when I was 24.
We buried his ashes in the Memorial Garden after my mom moved to Staten Island so that she could be close to him, and so he was nearby. Now, in 1982, when my dad passed, he hadn't been sick very long, so it was a shock when he passed. We grieved and missed him, and we took care of my mom, we took care of each other, and every year we celebrate his birthday on St. Patrick's Day. We have corned beef and cabbage, we have his favorite dessert, talk about him to our kids, we put pictures of him out so he's not forgotten, and that he will live on in our kids' lives. I'm glad my dad is close by. I like to visit him in the garden. I say hello, and I catch him up on things that have been going on in the family, such as my son's wedding last week in Florida. And every year my mom would come over and help me plant the flowers in the flower pots over there. So when people pass away, we have the memories of the time that we spent together. We have the things that they taught us, and maybe we think about the way their lives inspire us. We look at pictures, we think of them, we miss them, and we think of the things that they gave us. And as time passes, they continue to be a presence in our lives. For example, they might affect, the person who has passed might affect our decision-making. We think about what they would do or the advice that they may give us. For example, I grew up going to thrift stores with my dad, and some of you may know that I sell vintage clothing. So I go to thrift stores a lot. So with my dad, he would say, look inside the clothing, look inside, check the stitching. What kind of fabric is that? Let's look at the label. What does that tell us about the quality? And if we were in doubt, my dad would always say, buy it. We can always donate it back. I still hear his voice when I'm in the Salvation Army, and I can hear his voice asking me, did you check the zipper? A person who has passed away might affect how we process the world. Sometimes we want to be just like that person. Sometimes we don't want to be like them. But in this case, I want to be like my dad. He was always curious. He wanted to know everything. He was always reading, asking questions, and talking to people. This, of course, was embarrassing in high school when he would grill my friends about what they thought about Nixon. I find I have that same curiosity. I love to talk to people. I love to be in groups of people and make new friends. People who have passed on also live on in the physical looks and mannerisms in our children and relatives. We see a certain look, the shape of a face, maybe an eye color, and we think of that person. My brother's son looks so much like my dad. It makes me happy to see the resemblance, but sometimes a little sad when I look at him and I see my dad. And my son Ray stands with a cup of coffee, shooting the breeze, and I look at him and I say, yep, that's my dad. We are lucky to have this garden close by. We're lucky to have our loved ones near. It's a peaceful place to sit and visit. If you feel up to it, you can have a conversation, maybe check in for guidance, or catch them up on church gossip. I know my dad is there now, laughing at one of Abe Kornblitz's jokes. He's chatting with Brad Green about gardening, getting some advice, and he's trying to get Linda Trautman to share her secret chili recipe. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Virginia Allen, a longtime member of this church, a board member, and a member of the Memorial Gardens Committee. I'm going to talk a little bit about something different. I'm going to share a few poems with you and a remembrance of my daughter. If I Should Go by Joyce Greenfield. Weep if you must. Parting is hell, but life goes on, so sing as well. Dear Lovely Death by Langston Hughes. Dear lovely Death, thou taketh all things under wing, never to kill, only to change into some other thing. This suffering flesh to make it either more or less, but not again the same. Dear lovely Death, change is thy other name. In remembrance of my daughter Margot Renee Solomon, night turned over in her sleep and a star fell into the sea. It was with much disappointment when I heard her obituary and service performed by a minister who did not know my daughter. I was appalled and saddened, and of course her death was untimely. She was only 47 years old. I'd like to share a few facts about Margot. She graduated from Susan Wagner High School in the first graduating class, which was right around the corner from where we lived in Nannygoat Hill. I still live up there. Excuse me. She earned her BS in political science and English at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn. That was her choice. She was accepted in several other colleges. She received her master's degree in nursing education from the University of Oklahoma, and she loved nursing. For her community service, she went to the neighboring towns in North Carolina, little town called Washington, North Carolina, and other little towns, and taught CPR and all the daycare centers. She managed this in addition to taking care of her home, her husband, and 2 sons. She became well known wherever she lived. She will always be cherished and missed every day. So because of that, I decided for my memorial service some years ago that I would take matters into my own hands and prepare my own order of service, including music and poetry, and a brief biographical sketch. We can't stress enough how people should write their wills and make it known how they want their end of life to be. So it's important that other people are aware of how we would like your service to proceed. Make sure to have your papers and legal documents found quickly by someone close to you. We only die once, and it's important that you get the send-off you deserve. Today, we will try to help you, our parishioners, plan the best possible service for your end of life. Many years ago, over 20, I decided to donate my body to research, Downstate Medical Center. When you donate your body to science, they harvest what they can and do research on other organs. And at the end of their research, they cremate the body and send the cremains to your next of kin or a designated person. Last Will and Testament by Will Scrackman. And as I sit upon my cloud and look down at the earth, I'll watch you use my worldly goods for festival and mirth. And that will make me smile and smile and have a laugh quite heartily, moving forward. Thank you.
Another name for death is change. It's the introduction to my song. We all know we're going to die, but we all don't know we're about to die, perhaps. I wrote this song when I had COVID, so I had the thought. The first line comes from the mystic Rumi, and the advice comes from another mystic, Adida. And here it goes. Who becomes less in dying? Rumi asks because he knows. He knows we've been lying to ourselves about the final show. We don't stay here, that at least is clear. That doesn't mean we disappear. For there's no address that matches nothingness. What disappears is the fear. Listen to Adida, who tells us this above all. Relax the tension and the fear. Relax, release, as when going to sleep. With deep trust and love, surrender to the divine realities suffusing you and confusing you no more. That mortality is in store. What disappears is the fear.
So I think we have to say thank you to Jonathan. It's a beautiful song, and he played a few bars of it for me. I said, that's great, because we got to get this together. But thank you so much. It was beautiful and timely and appropriate. And thank you to both Viv and Virginia for sharing your personal stories. And I think we all learned something, because have I done my will? Yeah, I did it, but it's like online or something. Like, I should go to a lawyer, right? There's a few things we should take care of. And again, if you are part of our church, if you are a member of our church, you can be interred in the garden, or if you are a significant other, a family member, things like that. And there's more information online about it, and we can send you. You can prepare by getting a link to our Google document that you answer all the questions, because each individual has to answer those questions. And I know some of us have recently done it, so it's a new process for us. and it's a work in progress, and the garden never ends. So we hope the next part of our service, which will be the ending, this is going to happen outside. And to do that, we will put on our jackets and process out together around the corner, into the gate, go around the circle, read all the names, ring the bell, and then come back in through the side door to have a nice hot cup of coffee. And if you want to skip that and wait here, that's fine too. We'll meet you in the auditorium. All right? So let's put on our windy day garb.
How many on Zoom? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hi, can people hear me?
Yeah, we can take you outside for the reading of names. Would you like that?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Probably not coming back.
I've been carrying it for 24 years.
Don't trip.
How can I get rid of that? Can't read it. Come on, you didn't read that.
Want me to do it? Want me to do it? To close it for you? Oh, no, you did it.
I got it. I'm going to try to take everybody out. Wow. We'll see how that works.
I was wondering how you're gonna manage this.
What? We'll see how this works.
You guys bring the, the virtual people with us.
Oh, no. Well, I think you got to experience the whole thing.
Oh, okay. You might need some help on the stairs.
What?
Hi, Virginia.
I'll meet you out there. I'm good. Do me a favor. Ignore the phone call I left you on your phone. A half hour ago. I didn't see you. Yeah, well, I'm on the last.
Well, not the first one, Sally and David. That's okay.
I used to tell them, I want to tell them. Really appreciate it.
Well, I put my sweater on, my jacket on.
I hope you did.
I did.
It's chilly out here. Indeed. I wish I had known your daughter.
Yes, most people didn't. But she has visited the church before, many years ago.
Viv at my 70th birthday.
Looks like we may have lost him.
Yes, maybe they're frozen in there.
Yeah, that's all right. We could chat. If it comes back, it comes back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah.
Yeah. So you had kind of a rough week, huh, Suzanne?
Yeah. He came to the hospital on Thursday and they wouldn't let him go home.
Oh, geez. That's a pain. Yeah.
They want him to have an MRI and an MRA and they couldn't get it scheduled on Friday. So the neurologist wouldn't let him go home. So
yeah,
we're praying that tomorrow he gets this.
Right.
If not, his daughter wants me to take him out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And drive up to Weill Cornell up in Manhattan, which is where he's going to be next week having surgery. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense. You could always sign him out AMA. Not that I would recommend that, but yeah.
Yeah. I'd only do that if we were going to go to Wild and they had everything set up.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. No.
His doctor tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's the worst thing when you're stuck over a weekend, because we all know nothing happens in a hospital on the weekend. You just sit.
No, he's so bored, Nancy.
I know. I can imagine you are, John. Yes, right.
He is so bored.
Yes, it's like, great. They're keeping me alive. I could probably do that elsewhere. Yes, right.
Exactly. But
every time I get up to go to the bathroom, a buzzer goes off and 4 people come running in.
Oh, geez.
So he told them, please turn the buzzer off. They said, we don't recommend that, but we'll do it if you want. He's in a beautiful private room.
Oh, nice.
Hospital's beautiful. Big window, beautiful view. The staff here is wonderful. It's a great hospital.
Oh, good, good.
And it's 11 minutes from the house.
Which
makes it easy for me to get home and get back over here.
Right, right.
They wouldn't let me spend the night with him, so.
Oh, yeah.
Worked, so.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Yes. Oh, who's that?
That looks like Sally Jones.
Yes.
Frozen. No, not frozen.
She's there. She's muted.